gosh, I had the intro planned out that I wanted to do, but that quickly changed. Scott, raise your hand, brother. So Scott's not going to tell you this. I decided to do it. It's an embarrassing moment to me. So he's not going to tell you. You want to talk about bombing an intro, okay? So I met Scott last year at Luby's. For whatever reason, I thought I had met him at a men's group. So I go up to him, I say, hey man, don't you run a podcast? No. Well, don't you do? No. So in the midst of my nervousness, like, God, dog, I just bombed that. He's eating, and I knock over his plate of food.
I didn't
yeah. Oh, are you speaking today? I'm speaking today. Are you nervous? Yeah. Now I am, Scott. Thank you for that. So we're actually... He wasn't going to tell you, but that actually happened. Somebody else saw it. Yeah, I forgot who was there. Yeah. So that's your speaker today. Oh, man, that's so embarrassing. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to add value, and that's what I intend to do today. Because our only other option is what? Sitting at home and listening to what? COVID, and his steroid brother, Omicron. Oh, God. But you think that's gonna? I'm telling you, you think that's gonna stop? I guess next, you know what's gonna be next? Megatron. Next thing you know, and honestly, when you think it's all good, we're making progress. They got that ace up the sleeve, and you know what's happening next? They're gonna throw a big bomb in the middle and make sure that we get a goddamn race war started. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man, and so I don't know about you, man, but we live in the United States of America. And that's the key, is united. That's what we're supposed to be, united. And I'm just telling this for you guys. It ain't for me. I'm good. I'm good when it comes to racism and stuff like that, because I assured that 10 years ago. I'm a black man. I got a wife white. I got a white wife. I got a black son, and I got a white son. We're in recruiting process. We won Hispanic away from being unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, one of them. You didn't plan them. If you want to get over that, just come to my house. Just come to my house. Whenever we get upset, man, we just sit in the room. We look at each other. Just look at you. Look how different you are. I don't like it. And then we go on about our business. That's how I do it. But that's just all jokes aside, man. Like I said, I intend this to be unity. We need to grow together. We need to be together because we're better together. That's what it comes down to. And so, where's Elizabeth at? Is your husband here? He's not here. So, let's give them a round of applause, because seriously, I mean it. You don't know how much of a blessing this is for me, because like I said, I've been trapped in the house. I'm ready to let loose. It takes a lot of courage to do what they did, to start this and keep it going in spite of. And that's something you learn in sports. I believe sports teaches you a lot of things. I just looked up something on the internet the other day about how it works on the psyche of children, how important it is, how it builds up your self-esteem. And so I personally believe that when it comes to sports, we love sports so much because I believe it is a picture of what happens in our lives. I mean, you have all the elements. You have opposition. You have a halftime where you take a break. You have corrections. You have adjustments. You have coaches. You have mentors. You have training, preparation. All of those things that go into building a business, raising a family, keeping a good marriage alive, all these things. And I'm a believer in that. And so when we do these things, man, I really enjoy that. So thank you for this. So after we got off the phone, on the internet, we hit up on Instagram. I immediately got on the phone to God, right? I did that. And I asked God, I said, what am I going to talk about? I said, because I don't want this to be something that, I want to share my story, but I really believe that we're in a time right now that requires a level of thinking and strategic action, intentionality, right? Because we're in some confusing times, and we're in some crazy times. And I really think it's going to take crazy leadership. It's going to take stepping out of your comfort zone. It's going to take things that you maybe thought you wouldn't do. Man, look at the internet. Look how ingenuous and insensitive. And I believe, and this is just my heart speaking, this is not planned. I believe that in these times, people that are willing to be real, and by real mean transparent and authentic, that the sales pitch thing, I think is kind of going out the door. I think people want to deal with real people, really. And I think those that are willing to put themselves out there are going to be the ones that have the leg up at the end of the day. That is what I believe currently, and that's what I intend to do. So that's what we're going to do. So as we get into this thing, man, like I said before, I asked God, I said, what do I want to speak? And about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, man, you should have seen me. I was like a little kid. My wife was asleep. She was snoring, and I'm under the covers. I put the sheet over my head so she couldn't wake up, and I'm just going to town. And I was like, is that it? Yeah, that's good. Okay, we're good to go. Would y'all like to hear what he wrote? What's on my heart? No, I'm serious. I wrote this down. All right, now. All right, here we go. All right. So this is what was on my heart. Yes, indeed, these are crazy, confusing, and conflicting times. But with great opposition comes great reward. And those of you who will take heed to my words, for you, it will be a time of peace, productivity, and power. I'll say it again, a time of peace, productivity, and power. I like the sound of that. And as a matter of fact, I'll go take it a step further to say your peace is your power. Mm-hmm. Your peace is your power. Repeat after me. My peace is my power. One more time. My peace is my power. That's right, because you got so many things trying to steal your peace. And I've heard it so many times, if it's costing your peace, it costs you way too much. Oh, did I go the wrong way? There you go. Your peace is your power. And there's a reason there's a lion there, because there's a lion in you. There's a lion in all of us. And the reason the lion is not the biggest animal out there, but he is the one they fear the most. When he comes into a conflict, he's at peace. You know why he's at peace? Because he knows who he is. He knows who he is. The way it sees itself now then conducts how it responds in the time of adversity. Likewise, another animal, the elephant, the way it sees itself determines how that dude acts in adversity. The elephant sees itself as food. It gets scared and it runs. The lion sees itself as the eater of food. So it stays planted. And when we get into it, it stays planted, it stays the course, and it plays the weight game. And guess what? It wins out. And so that's why we have to maintain peace. Now, the peace I'm talking about is not the peace that when you go, honey, can you please leave the room? I need some peace and quiet. I'm not talking about that peace. I'm talking about the peace that is realized in a time of adversity, a peace that comes up out of you when we need it, a peace that comes from discipline, intentional focus. That is the peace that I am talking about. It's a peace that I found out very quickly going through one of the hardest times of my life. I want to take you back to 2012. It was June of 2012. I had just come back from having eye surgery, and I thought things were going good. I woke up that day. It was a usual day. Usual day. I'm getting ready for the game. I'm all jipper and whistling. Let's go. I'm going to the stadium. I'm getting ready to play. Got another game. Ha-ha. That whole deal. Everything was good. So I get to the stadium. I look on the sheet. I don't see my name. I must not be in the lineup today. Okay, I'm going to go to the bench. Interesting. I don't see my name anymore. And then has anybody had the sports movies? When the coach comes in there and, hey, coach wants to see you. You laugh because you know what that means. That's never a good thing. Ever. Of course, hey, Daryl, coach wants to see you. Oh. And my heart just dropped. And, of course, the coach said those things. Hey, you got to go. We thank you for your services, all that stuff, the stuff you don't want to hear. And then they take you through the most embarrassing moment. I don't know if anybody's ever been fired before, okay? But you see it in the movies all the time, where they always got this dude behind you, like you're security, like as if you're going to go crazy or something, and they walk you out, and I'm over there with my boys. Hey, what's up, babe? We good? You good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. Good. I'm good. And I wasn't all right, because I had a 14-hour drive home to think about everything about this possibly being the last time that I ever pick up a baseball bat as a professional athlete. Now, if I have my wife here to tell you, my wife could even add more to that story, because what you don't know and what I didn't know at the time was that at that time I called her. She was obviously the first person I called. She was carrying a picture, and she'll tell it better than I can. She was carrying a picture into the new house we just bought. Think about that. As a woman, you know. You guys want security? That's what you... She finally gets her security, and her husband calls and says, I ain't got no job. So I know her heart dropped. And that was a time where I learned how to have peace. It was very painful. It was very tough on me emotionally. But you see, I'm still here. I'm here now. I'm still here. Right? Go down. There we go. So, which brings us to the next point. Your success, your failure this year, and for years to come, will be determined by your, come on now, your focus. Your focus. See, this is something that us athletes, we train in all the time. This is something that you're under attack right now, your focus. What are you focused on right now? What's got your attention? What's keeping you up late at night? What do you keep exposing yourself to on a regular basis? What do you focus on? Because the reality of it is, and we learn this in training, what you focus on will begin to become bigger in your life. And the more you feed that thing, the more it's going to grow. Because what I didn't tell you, although this was the most difficult time in my life, I didn't tell you all the word and all the stuff that I had been putting in before that to even be able to handle that moment. And that's what got me through. You know, I'm just talking about what worked for me. We know I can't do anything about someone else's belief system, but I can tell you what worked for me. And I can tell you it was God's word that got me through that thing. Because it poured hope into me despite what I was seeing with my physical eyes. Since I got here, I've heard Elizabeth say, talk about the hard times. I've heard that word so many times. So there's a consistent theme here. Hard. It's not easy. How do we get through things that are not easy? How does a player, my mother said it the other day. She said, it's so hard. We were watching UFC. About UFC guys in here? You know they in town tonight. You know they're in town this weekend. Yeah. And I love watching fighting because it's a perfect sign of what we go through in real life. There's so much adversity. You're getting hit, you're getting your butt hit, but you don't quit. And she looked at me yesterday. She said, man, it's hard. I said, it's hard, but that's what they've been training to do their whole life. Their thinking about that is not the same as yours. You're not in it. They intentionally go in it understanding that it's hard. But it's easier for them because that's what they do. They train in that. So imagine if we woke up every day, understand we know it's hard, so what am I going to do about it? I'm going to intentionally prepare and plan my mind to be right. I was just talking with Brian. Where you at? He's talking in the back. And we were just talking about training the mind. He's like, oh, so you mean you tell me the mind is a muscle and you have to exercise it and discipline it just like anything else? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And the people that run the media, they know this too. This is the reason why they'll spend $3 million during a Super Bowl commercial, because they understand the power of the mind. If I can get you to focus on this long enough, I can get you to eventually act out on the thing I want you to get. Great leaders understand this. And you can use that for the good or the bad. You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay? There's 3 things you need to know about focus and understand. Focus is a weapon. It's a weapon. You know, we need weapons in warfare. It's a force. And focus is a discipline. See, there's the things, I mean, we've heard this before. We've heard about focus. We always tell, hey, you need to focus. Hey, you need to focus. How many parents told us that? Our parents told us that all the time. You need to focus. But they don't tell us why. They don't tell us why we need to focus. Because focus is a weapon. Focus is a force. Focus is a discipline. I don't believe it's by choice that I'm up here. And I'm going to tell you, don't be surprised if I'm a type of person that is going to be used more, because I can tell you, I don't have a college degree. I got drafted out of high school. I don't have a college degree. But what I do have is I got experience in a high-pressure situation that I've done my entire life. Entire life. My nickname, my sister will tell you, she knows my nickname. She's over there hiding. She's over there. Wave. My sister, my nickname was Showtime. Showtime. And I intentionally named myself that because I show up when it's time. I show up when it's time. I'm not the guy that will crumble No, I show up. But I show up because I make it a point to show up. I'm not sitting back waiting for somebody to take my freedom away. Not doing it at all. I didn't do all this work to now all of a sudden become a person that shuts my mouth when I need to speak up. Not doing it. I didn't pay 25 years of my life playing a professional sport, standing in front of all types of people saying all kinds of things, handling that, have a guy throwing a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at me and not even know, I didn't succeed in that, to now all of a sudden cave into some crap that I know I can walk over. I'm not doing that. But here's the deal. It's a discipline. It's a discipline. And how much know we know discipline, it sucks. It sucks, man. If you think that I love eating healthy, you're crazy. I love sweets. But having a lack of discipline and having a lack of focus, you get the opposite. Now, I wasn't going to do this. I didn't have this planned at first because I was like, do I want to do? But I'm going to take you, we talk about stories. I'm going to take you to where I'm at now. I'm going to take you where I'm at now because so many times we hear stories about what I overcame. Let me tell you about what I'm battling now in my life. Brian knows because I've talked to him about it. But I let this slip. Trained, professional, athlete. I let this slip. Started paying too much time to social media. Suddenly thoughts about, that's my boy up there. He's driving a Lamborghini. Nice house. Man, he sure looks like he's doing well. It starts out like that. The next thing you know, a little bit more. Next thing you know, I'm calling my mother, crying on the phone, pissed off about what happened 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Because I allowed my focus to get off. I can tell you right now in my life right now, and I there's a point I got to the point where, man, I checked into I don't want to say mental facility, but I was going crazy, man. My thoughts were everywhere. A trained professional, out here encouraging people, doing all this stuff, and I'm going crazy behind closed doors. You don't believe me? Ask my wife. You don't believe me? Ask my kids. In and out the house, don't know if I'm going to get divorced, stay together, going crazy. I met the Hulk. You know that green guy that acts crazy? Yeah, I got one of them. And he's not so nice. I don't like him. I don't like him at all because he's angry. He's quick-tempered. He's depressed. He's full of anxiety. He leaves a path of destruction. He hurts people emotionally. You know what? Because he's hurt. I was able to keep that guy at bay when my focus was on the word, when my focus was on hope. But you keep pouring all that negative stuff in there. You keep pouring all that stuff in, and you think that it's not affecting you. It affects you. And the first thing it does, it impacts the ones you love the most. That's the danger of not focusing on these things. So the point I brought that up, the reason why I pointed out is not for a sob story, okay? Because, we all got one, man. I can tell you, oh my God, I look back on it, I'm laughing now, but there's issues when God is praying to his God to help your butt out. God like, oh Lord, help me. Help this child, because I can't do it. And then you know how parents, when the kids be embarrassing you, like, God, stop embarrassing me. Get your tail up. Because I'm in the room, oh, Jesus, help me, I don't know. Boy, you the one causing it. You the one doing it. Shift your focus. Shift your focus. Now, I'm not going to ever say that without leaving you out a solution. That's one thing I pride on. How do we bring ourselves into focus? There's always a way out. God always provides a way out. There's always a choice. He says, choose life or death. Choose life or death. You get to choose. You choose life. But notice, it's not his choice, it's our choice. You get to choose. Separation, solitude, we need that. We need that. We need some time to get our thoughts together. That's the main thing they do in therapy rooms. They always get you away from what you're used to because there's triggers that continue to trigger our minds. Okay? Slow down. One more. Simplify. Separation, slow down, simplify. We can answer that. They need to hear this too. They need to get in and they need to hear that too, but that thing on speakerphone. But yeah, so I'll take you back to a time when I was in AA. And I just got called up. And I was having a great season. This is actually a year I got Player of the Year of the organization. But it did not start off good. I went over my first 16. The second game of that year, we went to Arkansas. And, I'm just going to be honest. Arkansas is not so nice. They're not very nice. Yeah, they're not very nice. No, they're not pretty. No, I don't like Arkansas. My second game there, they chose to, and some of you guys know, they chose to get a Daryl Strawberry skit, because my name's Daryl, and they played it on the board. And it's different when you're going from playing in front of 20 to 50 people a game to now you're playing in front of 6,000 people that are yelling and screaming, Daryl, all the entire time. And it scared it shocked me. It shocked me, okay? And I put so much pressure on myself. I went 0 for 16. It got so bad, my coach had to pull me aside. There's 1 month left in the season. He pulled me aside. Separation. Another key word, I also had somebody that had been there, done that, speaking into my life. That's key. You need that. I needed that. This is as a professional. As a professional, we're being trained by other professionals. You need that. Don't go it on your own. He pulled me aside. He said, what's going on? I said, man, I don't know. I suck. He said, no, you don't suck. He said, you're here for a reason. He affirmed me. He said, you're good enough. And before all that, he said, there's 1 month left in the season. Okay? You're not getting sent back down. You're here to stay. He gave me hope. Those were the words that he fed me. I was 21 years old. And I don't know about you. You guys forget, when you're watching these guys on television, these guys are 21, 22 years old. Don't make the mistake of letting money think that these guys are bigger than what they are. You hand 21, 22-year-olds millions of dollars, you think they're not going to act stupid? They're going to act real dumb. There's a reason why the divorce rate in Major League Baseball right now is over 90%. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. That was back in 2011, before social media. Guys like me don't make it like that with the family. You understand that? When I called my wife, that was 10 years ago. We just made 10 years in January. 10 years. Thank you. 10 years. 10 years. And she put up with some stuff now. I didn't say there wasn't no damage done, but we made it. But we don't stop there. But anyways, the divorce rate, all that stuff, man, that's real life. We pay a price. I get trained to hit a baseball. I don't get trained to be a father. I get trained to be a husband. So you're going to tell me, now my dream's gone, you're going to throw me in a situation now I'm taking care of 4 people, not just myself, and I got 2 houses to pay? Oh, not to mention, I'm 24 years old. I wasn't ready. So that's why I said I learned it, but I had to go through the tough times to learn that piece, and now I have more control over it. But to get back to this point, he simplified the process, guys. Haven't we got to the point where anybody knows that had success in business, man, it's usually you take one specific thing and you just keep doing that thing. You keep working at it. Keep working at it. I realized just this past couple of days, man, I got so fired up because I started watching this sermon and God gave me that foundation back. He said, man, you need to realize how much you're loved because now you got the flow from me and that's going to extend to your wife. Boom, boom. Quit trying to do it on your own. You need my love to love people. That's how important this relationship is. We can't do it on your own. You're not meant to do it on your own. You came from a source, therefore you have the pull from that source. I don't mean to preach a sermon. I'm just saying, I'm just being real. I'm just telling you what's worked for me. We're dealing with people now. We're not dealing with machines. You're dealing with people that need love, that want love. They may not say it. I guarantee you, if we started talking about some of the issues that are really going on, I guarantee you, boy, we'll be all in tears because you'd be surprised what people are going through. Man, I had a friend who was on the phone with her. This stuff happened a couple weeks ago. I had a friend, she was on the phone with her mother. Next you know, boom. Imagine what you would do if you heard that. And she said, Mom, 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 and you don't hear anything. Could you imagine that? Her mother died on the phone with her. You don't think that woman needs love now? You don't think that is real life? You don't know what people are going through. So we got to keep it simple. And sometimes it's not just what you're doing. It's not that you're doing the wrong thing. It's sometimes we're not even doing the right thing long enough. Stay in the fight is the point I'm trying to get at. Because there's a lot of outside influences that are trying to pull your focus away from what it really is. That's real. There's a lot of this is a game, guys. I'll just be real. It's a game. If you think that this is not, everything about life is a game. You know those relationships where you're trying to win that argument. You know you're arguing with your wife and then she cleverly talks about something that you did 10 years ago. And then now you're arguing about that and you lost over here. You're like, God, no, I don't, and now you lost. Now focus is off. See, it's a game. See, look, it's a game. There's always a winner and there's a loser. And once you understand how the game is played, you can now position yourself to respond better to certain things that happen in your life. Even with the COVID thing, you don't think there's a winner? I'm just saying, Jeff Bezos made about $30 billion last year. Game now. So let's talk about hope, man. As I close, I want to quote, it's Black History Month, and Martin Luther King comes to mind. My mom kept reading me this over and over again. I was like, okay, I get it. And he said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. He said, but no matter what, you keep moving forward. And the reason why I bring that up is as people of hope, people of faith, people of purpose, and people of power, you don't let these last 2 years keep you from doing what you were created to do. You keep moving forward because there's some people, whether you believe it in life, in your life, that are wishing, that are hoping that you make it, that you continue to do what you do. You don't know what people are going through. Oh, man. I can't tell you, we're leaders, guys. We're leaders. And as a leader, we have a responsibility. I've made it my responsibility for 2 things in my life from now on. Honor and legacy. Honor and legacy. I honor those that came before me. I honor my mother for the sacrifices that she made. I honor the people that paved the way to give me the opportunity. But I leave a legacy for those that are coming after me. That's a big one. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's some days I look at my kids, I'm like, God, dog, I did that. God, I did that. I hate that. I'm joking about it now, but in the moment, it ain't, it ain't good. And I can joke about it because I know I'm not quitting. I know I'm not giving up. And I know I put a plan in place for me to keep going. But that legacy matters. I just explained to you, I'm a trained professional. I've done this my entire life. And I'm telling you, I was 2 steps away from checking myself in to a god dog mental institution to see, because I think I'm going crazy. Social media, if you ask people on social media, boy, that boy doing good. I had a guy tell me, I shared this with him the other day. He said, man, I thought you were doing good. He said, I thought you were doing real good. Yeah, it appears so. It would appear so. Because sometimes we got to put on that front, make it seem, let me take this picture, dog. Look what I'm eating, dog. Yeah, you eat that 1 time a week, man. You on vacation. Everybody eat good on vacation. Everybody, but that's the trick, man. We trying to do this for other people and we're losing sight of that purpose. And so I believe that for us, we are symbols of hope. It is our responsibility to pour hope into this next generation. It is our responsibility to give them light, but we got to be filled with the light. We have to be filled with the hope. We can't feed on this negative stuff all the time and think that it's not changing us on the inside. You can't do it. If you don't believe me, ask my wife. Ask my wife. She's the first one to feel whatever I have to give. So it is our responsibility. Keep hope alive. Because hope is the anchor to the soul, guys. Hope is that thing that keeps us grounded. It keeps that ship from moving when the storms of life hit. I ain't moving. I'm not going nowhere. I don't care what you say. I am a free man, and I'm going to continue to conduct myself as free. I'm not going to let any man take away what God put me on this earth to do. Period in the story. And if that puts me on an island by myself, then so be it. But I think you guys know where I'm going with that. If you're a business leader, you didn't get into business because you didn't want to be free. There's freedom in that. But freedom has a cost. You guys should know that more than anybody. Freedom has a cost. And we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to pay the price? So keep hope alive. That's my message, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. If you want to take my information, you can reach me on the information. I'll leave that up there. Feel free to connect with me, man. And again, like I said, it's not a one-man crew. You know, we're all a team. We got to do it together. That is what my business is all predicated on, is helping people discover the power and their purpose within. But again, we need more. You know, we can't. I can't do it by myself, and neither can you. You know, so I guess that's why we're all here, anyways, right?
That's right.
So thank you, guys. Thank you.